Hey, yo, what up, everybody? It's Off to Great Wall. It's Mike Chen here.
Dan Chen here.
And if you haven't heard already, please check out our Double Chen channel. You can click the link right over here.
That's me and Mac coming at you.
That's right. Anyway, you probably have heard of Confucius. You know, the guy who many people think writes for the fortune cookie company.
Wait, he doesn't? Confucius was very influential even to this day, but there are other philosophers throughout Chinese history who also made significant impacts on traditional Chinese culture. There were 7 philosophers, known as the Pre-Qin 7, referring to the 7 great thinkers in the Spring and Autumn Warring States period before the Qin dynasty, who made everlasting impacts through Chinese history.
The 7 philosophers named Kongzi, Mengzi, Hanfeizi, Zhuangzi, Mozi, Xunzi, and Laozi. So you probably noticed that all their names all have the zi at the end. Zi literal translation, of course, is kid. But in this case, the zi is added to their name as a sign of respect because they are great thinkers and great teachers. So anybody who was considered a great thinker or teacher, they would be referred to by their last name and the word zi. So if Dan and I were great teachers, we would be called Chenzi.
Nice! Let's start with the philosopher we are all familiar with, Kongzi, or Confucius. He was born in 551 BC in the Lu state of China. His teaching focused on creating ethical models of family and public interaction, personal and governmental morality, justice, sincerity, and setting educational standards.
Confucius's ideas were not embraced during his lifetime, sadly, and he was forced to leave his home state of Lu and wander throughout the different countries. He died in 479 BC.
It wasn't until after the collapse of the Qin dynasty did Confucius's thoughts receive official sanction and were further developed into a system known as Confucianism.
Confucianism later became the official imperial philosophy of China and was extremely influential during the Han, Tang, and Song dynasties.
Confucius's principles had a huge impact in common Chinese tradition and belief. He championed strong family loyalty, ancestor worship, respect of elders by their children, and of husbands by their wives, and coined the well-known principle, do not do to others what you do not want done to yourself.
Number 2, Mengzi or Mencius. He was a thinker whose importance in the Confucian tradition is second only to that of Confucius himself. He was an interpreter of Confucianism and is most famous for his theory of human nature, according to which all human beings share an innate goodness that either can be cultivated through education and self-discipline or squandered through neglect and negative influences, but never lost altogether.
Mencius's disciples included a large number of feudal lords, and he was actually more influential than Confucius had been previous. He expressed his filial devotion when he took 3 years' leave of absence from his official duties for Qi to mourn his mother's death. Disappointed at his failure to effect changes in his contemporary world, he retired from public life.
Number 3, Hanfeizi. Elements of Chinese legalist philosophy can be traced to the 7th century BC, but it was Hanfeizi who developed the precepts of this political philosophy into its definitive form.
Unlike the other famed philosophers of the time, Hanfeizi was a member of the ruling aristocracy, having been born into the ruling family of the state of Han during the end phase of the Warring States period.
Hanfeizi belonged to the school of legalism. Legalism assumed that people were naturally evil and always acted to avoid punishment while simultaneously trying to achieve gains. Thus, the law must severely punish any unwanted action, while at the same time reward those who follow it.
His philosophy was very influential and became one of the guiding principles of the first emperor of China, Qin Shi Huang.
Number 4, Zhuangzi. Zhuangzi lived during the late 4th century in the state of Song. He refused a state office offered to him by the king of Shu and preferred a private and quiet life, or in the words of himself, to drag my tail in the mud like a tortoise.
What does that mean?
You know, you're like a tortoise, and then you have a tail, right? And then so you drag your tail through the mud like a tortoise. God.
Yeah.
Anyway, Zhuangzi is credited with writing in part or in whole a work known by his name, the Zhuangzi, which expresses a philosophy which is skeptical, arguing that life is limited and knowledge to be gained is unlimited, and to use the limited to pursue the unlimited, he said, was foolish. Number 5, Mozi. Mozi was born in Shandong Province, China. He founded the school of Maoism, whose fundamental doctrine of undifferentiated love challenged Confucianism for several centuries.
Mozi was originally a follower of the teachings of Confucius until he became convinced that Confucianism laid too much emphasis on a burdensome code of rituals and too little on religious teaching, at which time Mozi decided to go his own way.
Mozi's life, however, resembled that of Confucius in many important respects. He was widely read and well-versed in the tradition of Chinese classic. He also was forced to travel, living around the different countries during the warring states.
Mozi is known by many children through his work, The 1,000-Character Classic. This is a Chinese poem used as a primer for teaching Chinese characters to children from the 6th century onward. It contains exactly 1,000 characters, each one used only once, arranged into 250 lines of 4 characters apiece, grouped into 4-line rhyming stanzas to make it easy to memorize. It formed the basis of literacy training in traditional China.
Number 6, Xunzi. Xunzi was a philosopher who was one of the 3 great Confucian philosophers of the classical period in China. He elaborated and systematized the work undertaken by Confucius and Mencius. Xunzi believed man's inborn tendencies need to be curbed through education and ritual. Counter to Mencius's view that man is innately good, he believed that ethical norms had been invented to rectify mankind. Xunzi was a more rigorous thinker and wrote elaborate argued essays which were collected into the book called Xunzi. He distinguishes what is born in man and what must be learned through rigorous education. These essays are often critical of competing schools such as Taoism and Maoism, as well as rival schools within Confucianism.
Number 7, and finally another philosopher who you may be familiar with, Laozi.
Literal translation is old kid.
Old kid.
Ooh.
Laozi is best known as the author of the Daodejing and the founder of Taoism. He is also revered as a deity in the Taoist religion.
As legend has it, Laozi underwent a profound spiritual awakening and then traveled to the western frontier where he disappeared forever into the land of the immortals. The last person he encountered was a gatekeeper named Yinxi, who requested that Laozi offer to him and all of humanity the essence of the wisdom that had been revealed to him. In response to this request, Laozi dictated what was to be known as the Daodejing.
The Daodejing, often called simply, you guessed it, Laozi, after its author, describes the Tao, or Tao, as the source and ideal of all existence. It is unseen, but not transcendent, immensely powerful, yet supremely humble, being the root of all the things. The Daodejing intends to lead students to a return to their natural state, in harmony with Tao. Wait, so Laozi is immortal?
Yeah, technically not a lot is known about Laozi's personal life, and a lot of people believe that he never died. And he just walked away into the western sunset.
So you're saying, like, if we went to the mountains of China right now, we might find Laozi?
No, he's in the realm of the immortals.
Oh, he's like,
where are you going to take a bus to the realm of immortals? You think you can just like buy a ticket, ride a donkey to the land of immortals?
Maybe not a donkey, but I don't know.
He became enlightened. He's probably in another dimension right now.
Hey, you know, if me and you wrote a spiritual book, we'll just call it our names.
Yeah.
Like Chen Xing,
the Mike,
Daodejing.
Yeah, your book would be literally translated as the loud sound.
It would be. Actually, funny enough, you guys don't know this, but my dad actually got my name from Laozi. From his book. Not Daodejing, but I think another one. How many books did he write?
He wrote at least 3 that I know of.
It's a different book, right?
Yes.
Inside it says 大音虚声, which means that the sound is so vast that there is no sound. It's cool, right?
So he's saying you're so freaking loud all of us go deaf and can't hear anything.
Well, at the time when he gave me the name, I wasn't born yet, so he didn't know that I was going to be loud.
That was the case, which I concur. It is what happened. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. Hope you learned some stuff from this and maybe feel a little spiritually lifted. I don't know. All right, guys, thanks for watching. See you later.
Later.